Hey, Mike, Frank Figliuzzi has been of counsel to our coverage for some time, and for good reason. As they say, he knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two as former head of counterintelligence at the FBI. Here is what he said about Trump's staggering debt when appearing with Nicole Wallace this afternoon.
From a counterintelligence operator's standpoint, if we saw a target with this kind of debt, this kind of possible fraud and tax avoidance at his country, we would be on him like crazy to recruit him and offer him whatever he needed to get out of his troubles.
So, Mike, as we like to say, that gets your attention. Expand on this notion, new to a lot of us Americans, even those of us of a certain age, of a president of the United States as a potential national security liability.
Well, look, counterintelligence is all about leverage. And what is leverage? One big part of it is owing other people money. And obviously, as Frank was laying out there, this leaves the president incredibly exposed. Now, there's nothing you can do if you're the intelligence community in terms of taking the president's security clearance away. You could have done a counterintelligence investigation into the president's ties to, foreign countries to realize if he was a threat. The Justice Department and the Mueller investigation did not do that. They did not look at those narrow, very important questions. But the other thing that I couldn't help thinking about when I heard Frank talking is that it's not just the president that has, this exposure or there are these concerns about. As I lay out in my book, John Kelly and Don McGahn, these two officials at the top of the White House, didn't think that Jared Kushner should have a top secret security clearance because of some very damaging information in his background. And we know that there were questions about his finances as well. So the problem that you're laying out with the president is something that extends to Kushner, who's essentially the president's right-hand man. So you have two people that are at the top of the government that are exposed in ways that we probably have never seen before as a country.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.